Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you here. I just
Pleasure.
heard your conversation. So, to the audience first of all, I'm not even getting an echo, so I don't know whether you can hear me or not. I'm just hearing the waterfall. Okay, you can hear me well. Okay. Sometimes I think you only hear through different mechanisms that I'm feeling nervous a bit. Okay, so pleasure having you here, Umesh.
Pleasure's
And we
mine.
heard you all the great things about what you're doing with Loreal and all the business transformation, growth. All of those things are great. But we are not here to talk any of that. So just through all your business funders, the BS and all that which you said in that room, we are not going to listen to any of that here. So we want to tell you here, what are you as a human? So let me first start before you even get to that. You got these three glasses. What does it really mean?
Well, this is a T-shirt that's designed by me because it's got my name. You won't find a commercial version of this, but it essentially talks about an optimist, pessimist, and who I am. And I'm looking at the glass always half full and half full of opportunity. So I'm an eternal optimist.
But if we replace the milk in the glass with something more spiritual, will these definitions change?
Unfortunately, I'm a very spiritual person, so I do not imbibe any spirit myself. All the spirit is already inside, and I'm high on life, so to say.
All right, that's a good one. So Umesh, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get talking to the audience?
So a little bit about myself. I'm Indian by nationality because I have an Indian passport. I can show it to you. I speak Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, and a little bit of Sanskrit. But I also speak Thai and Bahasa Indonesia because I've lived in Southeast Asia for 24 years. I was raised in Bahrain. I grew up there for 16 years, and then I've worked in India for about 8 years, and I've seen more India than most Indians have. Raise your hand if you've been to Arunachal Pradesh. Raise your hand if you've been to Mizoram, all the seven sisters. Raise your hand if you've been to Purnia, if you've been to Bareilly, if you've been to Jaunpur, etc. etc. There are only two states in India I haven't been to, Orissa and Jammu Kashmir. So those two remain. Other than that, I've been to every place in India.
Wow, that's a lot of travel you've done. So do you work for L'Oreal or Indigo?
I wish.
All right, what is when you get to office? Do people ask some funny questions saying, you're not using L'Oreal products? You kind of I was reading somewhere that the most sold L'Oreal product is actually hair color.
I don't know which is the most sold L'Oreal product, but hair color, we are the market leader as far as hair color is concerned. We're the market leader in makeup. Maybelline is the #1 makeup brand in the world. Unfortunately, I don't use Maybelline unless I'm testing some stuff in office. But what makes you think I don't use L'Oreal products? I'm a big user of Kiehl's. I'm a big user of Garnier. I'm a big user of La Roche-Posay, which is the world's #1 sunscreen product. So I'm a big user of L'Oreal products.
All right,
Doesn't have to be women only. My boss is a male as well, and he's a big L'Oreal product user. Plus we are #1 in fragrances. So you are an opportunity waiting for us to happen.
Why? Why do you think I'm an opportunity?
There you go. I mean, grey hair.
How easy is it to fool a L'Oreal person? I use L'Oreal Smoky Silver every day.
Oh, fantastic. A big round of applause for our Smoky Silver user.
And the reason for that is because people were not taking me seriously. I said I'm a consultant. They said they're diamond dozen. So what's different? I said, okay, बाल धूप में सफेद नहीं किए हैं, तो
you should try shaving your head. Maybe that will give you some more business.
Okay,
I believe bald men are more attractive than men with hair. Hirsute men.
Okay, I'll stand and talk because I think it's getting a little bit serious. Anyways, but thank you so much. Just a big round of applause for Umesh. Thank you so much. I think you're doing pretty well here. So I really was inspired when I heard you talk. And again, we're not talking about the business, but the range of things which you covered. Just as a background, Umesh started out as a textile consultant by education, all right, so which is a very different field to start from. Went on to do MBA, and then, of course, all these countries and states, and clearly from PNG to all of their journey. How do you build range on so many topics?
Well, I don't have range on too many topics. I'm very passionate about the business that I work in, which is consumer products, and I've been fortunate to work with some amazing companies, some amazing bosses, amazing mentors. So they've taught me a lot. The one thing that I am now passionate about is developing people. And that's stuff that I've been doing for the past, let's say, 15 years. Because as the chief executive of the organization, you don't really sell too much, you don't really market too much yourself. You're really building the team. And I think if there is one legacy I've left in both Thailand and Indonesia, having left as the chief executive of Loreal over there, is the organization that I've built over there. And I talked about the transformation and you know the transformation of the organization, the quality of the people that we were able to hire. That's something I'm really proud of.
Wonderful. Just to get a little bit about your current company, you left P&G, a great brand, to join L'Oreal. Was it about the numbers, money, product quality, or the celebrities they put on their commercials?
First, I think it should never be about the money, and it should always be the last conversation you have with the headhunter or with the prospective employer, because it's all about to repeat a line which is quite often used in L'Oreal, because you're worth it. You know, it has to. You have to prove your worth to the people who are hiring you. The budget always comes secondary. I have rejected candidates who asked me the question off the bat saying, "Can you really afford me?" I said, "I don't want to afford someone who asked me that question first. So I want to determine whether you're worth it." And besides that, I think the thing that I saw in L'Oreal was a company that wanted to be better tomorrow than it was yesterday. And believe you me, I don't say this because I'm standing in a large crowd, but the past 12 years, I have seen the company transform year by year. And it's besides everything else, it is visible in our share price, which has quintupled in the past 10 years. We are now I think the 63rd or the 60th most valuable company on earth, and we sell cosmetics. So, you know, there must be some magic going on over there.
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful progress in 10 years, continuing going through that kind of share price. But coming back to the celebrities which you have put in your ads, if you had the ability to put a celebrity who you wanted to be in the L'Oreal commercial, who would you choose?
I wouldn't choose it. That's not my job, and
I know it's not your job, but we are giving you that opportunity to.
No, but
would you put yourself?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't. I am a good brand ambassador as far as employer L'Oreal is concerned, and anyone here interested in working for L'Oreal can come and get a spiel from me about what are the benefits and advantages of working there. But when it comes to selling best cosmetics, I leave it to the marketing people to do that.
Wonderful. You talked about you're worth it. I think that was one of the best and one of the most impactful tagline one has seen as a marketing example. You talked about how you hire people about you're worth it. How do you make sure that you're worth it?
I think a couple of things. First is I have a few leadership mantras that I make sure are transparent to everyone. It's about being transparent, about being passionate, about having consistency, about knowledge-based leadership. So I have a one-pager that I write about who is Umesh Phadke, and I make sure that everyone in the organization has it. I hold myself to very high standards, and I also hold the people who work with me to very high standards. But then when you hold people to very high standards, you also are expected to invest in people. And one of my mentors had told me, time is the currency of caring. And that obviously means spending time with people. You can talk that I care about you, or you can really spend time with people who you care about. It doesn't matter what time of the day it takes, whether it takes a weekend or whether it takes late night in office. If you sit with someone and help everyone succeed, that's something which people will never forget. And I have worked with people who have left the company but have remained connected with me and consider me their mentor for a long time. I think the most valuable thing I got when I left Indonesia was a pen from someone who had left the company and gotten a bigger job, which said mentor for life. And I think that's the standard I hold myself to.
That's fascinating, very brilliant. I think we all can do that, and time is the currency for caring. That's a big takeaway for me. I know we've got to run at 4 o'clock, so I'm going to make sure that we get most out of it. I still have a question from the audience. So one question, not business, anything personal. If you were to give an advice to a 20-year-old Umesh, what would that be?
Be hungry, be curious, be open, find the best mentors to learn from. Don't be afraid to fail.
That's good
stuff, but
be hungry, be curious. Any questions from the audience? I know we kind of have 2-3 more minutes to go for Umesh. Okay, all right. So I have then a couple of last questions for us to go. Um, how do you see these transitions? Because you transition cultures, you transition national boundaries, you also transition the type of work which you do. What's the one thing which has stayed close to you making all those transitions?
The first thing that has stayed close to me is a book called The First 90 Days. I think it's Michael Watkins. I've read that book possibly 6 times in my life, and I always have a copy with me because my old copies are given away to people who I work with. So that's number one. It gives a perfect framework to transition job, life, country, whatever. Second is advice that my mentor gave me when I first moved to Indonesia 24 years ago. He told me, we are sending you to Indonesia not to make you Indonesian. We are sending you to Indonesia not to turn all of them into Indians. There is a value that they have to give you, and there is a value that you have to give them. At the end of your assignment, if both sides are better off, that will be the biggest ROI that we will have on your expat assignment. So that's the principle I have gone into every assignment with. What's the value I can add over here, and what can I take from these people that I don't have, and move forward.
So great advice, first 90 days. I think many of us have seen the book. Some of us may have read the book, but if not, I think you can get a copy from him. Just another little bit exploring the other side is, if Umesh were a fictional character of either a comic or a movie or a superhero series, what would Umesh be?
Well, truth be told, straight out of 12th, I had applied for the Faculty of Performing Arts in MS University of Baroda. I used to do very serious stage at that time, and I got in. After 3 days of auditions, I got in. And I also got into engineering, and I went and asked my mom, what should I do? And she said, you can do what you want to do for the first time in my life. And so I chose to do engineering. So if I was a fictional character, I would have been in Bollywood. Unfortunately, I'm not, but maybe Bollywood's loss is Loreal's gain.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't have agreed more with you. So thank you so much, Umesh, for sharing your time, your ideas, and yourself with us. I do know that we are short on time, and therefore we're going to close. But before I let you go, I do want our audience to know that Umesh, in my view, is a proud Indian, and also a proud for all of us for having made a big difference in a global organization and at a scale at which he's doing. You'll be pleased to know that he was conferred the CEO of the Year award in a place where he was the only not Indian, the only foreigner in that country to receive that award. So we are super proud of all your achievement and wish you great success and all the best. And thank you for being Umesh with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For more interesting content, like, comment and subscribe to our NASSCOM YouTube channel.